Hello beautiful people, welcome and welcome back to my channel. My name is Oluchiimoh, and on this channel I talk about cake business. I share tips on personal development, entrepreneurship. I do story time tutorials, vlogs, I share recipes as well, and you're welcome. In today's video I'm going to be talking about your baking or your oven baking temperature, or your baking temperature, or your oven temperature. All right, I'll be talking about this because in the last couple of days I've been having an experience. I've been having certain experiences, not too much, with my oven, and then it just got me wondering, and I also saw a post talking about the same topic, and I decided to share my thoughts on it, to share knowledge and to let you know some things that are important when it comes to baking your cakes and getting the perfect bake, so to say, for your cakes. Now, if it's something you're interested in, I'll definitely plead with you or urge you to keep watching, because I'll be right back. And you're welcome back. So today we'll be talking about your oven temperature or the baking temperature. Now, we know that most recipes call for baking at a certain temperature or at a certain degree, and if I should ask you, I know you know. If you know what that degree is, please let me know right away in the comments. Let me know if you know that particular degree we usually are asked to bake our cakes at. Drop them in the comments and let me know. So this degree or this particular temperature is something that people universally or would refer to as the universal baking degree, something sort of that nature. So they call it the universal degree for baking. Now I'll be talking about cakes, right? I'm talking about cakes. That's what we're talking about because we're bakers on this channel. So we've been asked to bake these cakes at a certain level. Whenever, if even there's a difference or if there's a reduction or an increase in this certain temperature, which I'll be talking about very soon, you will notice that it's rarely occurs. So people ask that we bake, or recipes call that you bake at this temperature that I'll be talking about. Now, what are the downsides or what are the pros and cons of baking below this temperature or beyond or above this temperature? Now, if you're baking below this temperature, you'll notice that, of course, your cakes will get baked. Yeah, your cakes will get baked, but it will take a longer time to bake. It's going to take a longer time than if you're baking at this set temperature that we've been asked to bake at, or that's been set as the sort of, I don't want to call it universal degree for baking, but that's what it is, or that's what they say it is. So if you bake lower than this, your cakes would take time to cook. They will get baked eventually, but it's going to take longer than if you bake at this set temperature that we're asked to bake at. Another thing is that your cakes will be light, they'll be soft, they'll be fluffy, okay? But then a certain thing that is supposed to happen for your cakes will not happen. So they'll be light in texture, fluffy in texture, looking light in color as well, like looking like a little, yellow. Okay, you have a yellow kind of cake, right? So these are the things that would happen. These are the few things that would happen if you bake at this temperature. These are the pros and cons of baking using a lower temperature. Now, if you bake at a higher temperature, of course, this one has a lot of pros and cons. Number one is that your cake will bake faster. Definitely, your cake is going to come out faster than if you bake at this set temperature. And it's kind of a plus because your cakes, of course, you use less gas, less whatever, less time and all of that. But what are the downsides? It has a lot of downsides. It has a lot of cons more than the pros. You would end up, one of them is that you would end up with an unevenly baked cake. So your cakes will not be evenly baked. Two, baking faster means that they're going to take lesser time to bake. So your cakes would come out with a dense texture. It will not be baked well. Number three is that it will also have a gummy texture. Have you ever baked a cake and it looked gummy? It looked really gummy in the mouth. You're eating it, it's sticking to your gums, it's sticking to your roof, to the roof of your mouth, it's sticking to your teeth and all of that. That's not a nice experience when it comes to cakes or eating cakes. So it will bake faster, but it will be unevenly baked. It would have a dense texture. It would have a gummy texture as well. It will have a dome as well, a dome as well. I don't know how you know it as, but if you bake at a temperature that is higher than this set temperature, your cakes will end up having a dome. You will rarely have a flat top if you bake with a higher temperature. I'm going to show you pictures. I've had a personal experience, a first-hand experience, and this is just it. So your cakes that would usually come out flat will come out with a dome, and it will crack in the middle. And then you'll have to cut, to trim to a level, and you know the amount of waste that this can result in, especially if you don't have things that you can use it for, like cake parfaits, cake pops, and other things, maybe cake truffles and things that you can use it for. So what will you do to those cakes? Probably eat them or you store them, whatever it is. You can also use them for cake fillings. But why do we have to go through this stress? Why do we have to go through all of this? So this is one of the things that happens. Another thing is that your cakes will get burnt, almost burnt or burnt. So you're looking for that brown look, you're looking for that brown, golden, nice, sweet look, but then it is going to get so brown, and in most cases to get burnt. So if you bake at a higher temperature, it's going to get burnt, it's going to get too brown, too caramelized, and it will almost get burnt, if not burnt. I've had burnt cakes still recent because of the challenges or the experiences that I've been having with my oven. Right, so now what is this set temperature? I thank you. If you dropped yours in the comment, thank you so much. If you've been gaining value from this video so far, please don't forget to smash the like button. I need you to smash the like button right away. Drop me a comment saying insightful, educating. Just drop me something in the comments, please, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay, now what is this set temperature? We are usually told to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a set temperature because they have found, baking is a science, of course, you know. So it has been found out, it's been researched or found out that this temperature that I just mentioned is a sweet spot. So it is not too high and it is not too low. Now, I'm not talking about baking other baked goods. I'm not talking about baking your pizzas, your cookies and all of that. For cakes, 350 degrees Fahrenheit has been found to be the sweet spot where you can, have your cakes evenly done, nice and fluffy, looking caramelized, not burnt, and all the good things, all the sweet stuff that you want with your cake. Nice texture, fluffy texture, moist, and all of that. Of course, I would always advocate for you to use a steam bath when you are baking. So put it in put this water, I've mentioned this in a couple of my videos, put it at the base of your oven and then bake. All right, so, and the sweet spot also when it comes to baking in your oven is, like they say, put it in the middle rack. They usually say don't put more than 2 cakes in your oven, but for me, I do that. I usually bake multiple cakes or with multiple pans at a time, and my cakes come out good, they come out fine. So this is something that you want to know. Put it in the middle rack. Sometimes when I want to get my cakes done, like my chocolate cakes, for my fabricated oven, that's what I use, please. I usually put it at the topmost rack, at the top, because that is where it's hottest. I don't know how it works like that, because the fire comes from the base and there is no fire, there's no heat coming from the top, but somehow that's how it works for the kind of oven that I use. So one thing is for you to understand your oven, understand this temperature as well. These researchers tell us that because of the calibration of the oven, fluctuating temperatures, even if you set it at 350, that it fluctuates between like 360, 370, and I don't know if it comes below, but there are factors that lead to these fluctuations in the temperature, but you will still arrive at this sweet looking cakes. So this is it, and I thought to share my thoughts about baking and your oven baking temperature. So that's why I usually say sometimes when I put on my recipes here, I say bake at your normal baking or your normal temperature. And someone has requested for me to do a video showing how to use an oven temperature. I will try to make that video available. I will check if I can find my oven thermometer. How to use an oven thermometer, I beg your pardon, I don't know if this is what I said, but I would look for my oven thermometer, get it, and then see how possible it will be to make a video to show you how to use your oven thermometer. So if you're starting it, it's good for you to invest in one, so that you'll be able to read this temperature for you and you know the right temperature you're baking at. Usually there's a way it works, and I hope that when I make this video I can make it available for you and you can see, and then you can understand how to use an oven temperature. When I started my baking, I used to bake with blue flames alone, and for me now, looking back, I think that was low. It usually takes longer, like I mentioned in the beginning, for the pros and the cons of baking with a lower temperature. It used to take longer to bake, but at least I would have a good cake. But now I understand. When I got my bigger oven, I understood that I had to get an oven temperature, and then I started working with different temperatures to see what works for me. So I ended up working with like 300, 350, and that is what I use now. Although, like I said, I've said a couple of times, I don't use the oven thermometer now. So I just know, okay, this is the temperature I'll set it to, and this is where I'll have my cakes baked nice, not burnt, fluffy, nice texture, and all of that. So that is it when it comes to oven temperature or your baking temperature for your cakes. And I believe you found value from this video. Please, if you did, don't hesitate to let me know in the comments. If you're here to smash the like button, please hit on the like button right away. Smash the like button. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. Join this family because we'll share a lot of information here that will be helpful to you in your baking and caking journey. If you have any questions as well, you can drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to answer them. Until I see you in the next video, stay happy, stay safe, and stay blessed.